Internet? I'm me, and welcome to Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger, episode 46. Now this episode is really good. I mean really good. Really good. Once again, this is Ninja Man who has been broken out of a bottle in a temple. Just go with it. Sorry, it was a jar, not a bottle. Anyway, yeah, he's been broken out of his jar, and he's now actually sitting around with the Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger, just pretty much watching them to see whether or not they're worthy enough to, you know, get the ultimate power, even though they already have most of them. Anyway, Ninja Man just does this out of security, and the fact that he actually screwed up a lot of times when he tried to save the day and accidentally blew crap up. So he's decided, I'm gonna take it slow, and I'm actually gonna try to see if this is actually worth me giving the ultimate power. Kind of like a guy who keeps sleeping with women, just wanting to finally take it slow with one chick. It doesn't last long. Anyway. So, Ninja Man has been watching the Gokaiger for a week. Fourth wall breaking in there, I know it. Anyway, and of course, everyone's getting annoyed by it. Mostly Marvelous, Joe, and Luca, while Princess Aime, Guy, and Doc, well, Doc I don't know, but Princess Aime and Guy are pretty much like, meh. But, of course, after sitting around for a week, and he's saying they're slobs, he decides to retrain the Gokaiger and tells them to get their lazy asses up and outside. Of course, as we all come to expect, the only three to actually do so is Princess Aime, Princess Aime, Doc, and Guy, because everyone else says, I don't need it. And of course, the training consists of push-ups, sit-ups, it just consists of them kicking each other. And which is actually a pretty cool fight scene in my book. But they end up almost beating the crap out of Princess Aime, but they don't do it because they're good friends, and they really wouldn't do that to each other. I mean, come on. Who would punch a girl in the face? Double punch a girl in the face. That's terrible. Anyway, so as they go along, we go up to the Great Horse, where the Zengeist Emperor is now out of his throne, I think for a considerable while now, and I still am loving his design. I don't know why, but every time I see his costume, I find something new about his costume that I didn't notice before. Like, he has dreads! He has dreads! I didn't notice he had dreads. But never mind. And the Emperor is sitting out of his throne, and it turns out he's bringing reinforcements. He's called in reinforcements to come help the Zengeist here near Earth. Which is pretty bad, because the Kaizoku Sentai have been killing a lot of Zengeist, and it's pretty much like saying all that for naught, because now a whole entire army is coming over to kick their asses. That might be a problem. But before they just sit on their asses and wait for the army to come and help, Nissan actually says she wants to test out a new soldier who is kind of an action general and just kind of an interesting soldier, and wants to try him out to see if he can actually take down the Kaizoku Sentai and the Earth's population, because he actually has this weird ability to make people fight themselves so that they won't have to lift a finger. And if you've ever watched Monsters on Maple Street by Rod Sterling, you know where this is going. Anywho, his name is, I'm just going to call him Guju, because I think that's his, last name or something. I'm just going to call him Guju, because he's kind of cool. But I do question how nobody saw a voodoo-like monster guy just standing around in the streets shooting people with darts. I mean, sometimes he's just hiding behind a street lamp. I'm like, how do you not notice? He's like 13 different colors. But he starts shooting people with darts, and they start glowing red. Nothing happens to them. They just go on walking with their day. They seem fine. Until Of course, Ninja Man senses that he's been tagging people and goes out to fight him with Guy, Aime, and Doc tailing along. And he throws ninja stars at his darts to stop him from shooting people anymore. And of course, the Gokaiger that are there decide to fight him, and they're fighting. And of course, the funniest part is Ninja Man is in the back giving them instructions like, "Don't falter, no, go for the right, go for the right," and like they're just like, "Shut up." My question was, why wasn't he in the battle? Well, most likely because he can only watch, but who cares? I really don't. And of course, Prince Captain Marvelous, Luca, and Joe show their late asses up in the fight to help out. And of course, Ninja Man does point out that they are late. So of course, Juju decides to tag both Gokai Silver and Gokai Green. Or, well, actually, I don't know. Oh, roll call, duh. Anyway, he decides to tag those two, and decides to also try to tag Marvelous and Joe. But right before he tags him, Marvelous turns around like a badass and deflects the blast with his sword. Bing. And remember that he deflects it with his sword, because that actually becomes important. Anyway, so after that, Juju pretty much pisses his pants and run, and of course he's like, "I'll be back," and Ninja Man's just like, "We got him to run." What a pussy. Anyway, so they go back to the Gokai Galleon, and of course they're all eating food and being happy, while Juju is sitting up in a weird cave having having the Golmeans like start bowing and doing this ritual. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I think the Golmeans are the best henchmen ever. They're the funniest henchmen I've ever seen. They're like stormtroopers if they had personality. I mean, they do things you wouldn't see normal henchmen do. Like, they start joking around with the main villain of the day. They start, doing funny things. And I mean, when they're bowing at this altar thing, it's just funny to see this. To see henchmen doing this. It's like, sure, the bad guy would do it because it's his thing, but the henchman? I didn't know you did that. And it just is kind of amusing to see, and I loved it. Anyway, and in a very, actually, almost very creepy scene. I don't know about any of you, but that was the scene where they start to do the ritual to turn people evil. Actually looks kind of creepy for a second, and then goes back to being silly. But as this is happening, Guy and Doc start fighting and actually take it outside to fight each other. Princess Aime following them to help out, and Ninja Man following suit, but cursing Joe, Luca, and Marvelous because of them not being not willing to get up and help him. And before they can explain, Ninja Man runs off. Then Marvelous actually explains to Navi that he wants her to analyze his sword due to the fact that he got part of this space crystal on his sword, which is actually implanted in people's hearts, which are being mind controlled by a signal sent out by Juju himself, turning people into evil douchebags. Anyway, Ninja Man and Princess Aime are running around Japan trying to stop all the annoyingly douchebaggy people from doing evil things, like a guy stealing a TV, a truck driver claiming he owns the road, and an oldish lady just kind of spray painting the police car. I don't know what's so evil about that, but it is kind of annoying. Anyway, and of course they're trying to stop this, and they actually run into Guy and Joe fighting each other. And this time, Princess Aime tells Ninja Man to back off and let her handle this one. And it's pretty much a repeat of the fight scene before, to the point where it ends with Princess Aime having both Guy's trident and Doc's sword in her face and almost being stabbed. But they overcome it by the power of friendship, yes, that's never been used before, and break the seals open with their hearts. And actually, even though I'm saying like, oh, this is cliched, power of friendship, this scene is actually pretty sweet and endearing. This is an actually good, heartfelt scene that usually doesn't show up in either Sentai or any show if you think about it. This actually was a very nice scene and actually ends on a very good note, though it could have been heavy on the friendship part. In my opinion, I liked it. I didn't care. But anyway, those two break out of the spell, and of course they get a call from Navi saying, "Oh no, Captain Marvelous, Luca, and Joe are all in trouble because they found Juju and started fighting him." And of course, in badass fashion, those three we cut to the fight scene, and in badass fashion, those three are fighting all these Zangeist alone against Juju, and of course they have to do the ultimate Gokai change you can only do with three people. The Sun Vulcan. I love Sun Vulcan. I don't know why, but I love Sun Vulcan's henshin. And I love just the three of them in it. I don't know why. It was the first Sentai with only three members. And it was the first Sentai with only three members who were all guys. But it still was a badass. I just loved it. I watched it right after I watched Gokaiger, so I just love it. And of course, they get their asses kicked because, if they killed the main dude, then there'd be no point in everybody else coming in. And of course, he's eaten the crystal that is controlling everybody else and turning them evil. But everybody comes in, even Ninja Man, and comes in to fight him. And in an awesome fight scene, Ninja Man shows that he's still got it. Everybody beats the crap out of Juju. And of course, they use the Rising Strike. They blast him, the crystal ball breaks, and everybody goes back to normal. And the guy on, oh dude, I can't believe I forgot his name. The guy on the great horse, the red guy, who goes, choy, choy, choy. Oh dude, I love that guy. I don't know why. He's so slangy. I love it. I don't know why. He's just like, choy, choy, choy. Oh no. And I was like, dude, you are like a mix between Mario and Super Sentai. You are a marriage of Mario and Super Sentai. I love you. He's pretty much like, oh crap, well that was useless. And Nissan of course says, not yet. Makes him grow. And actually, in a thing that I always thought that happened when I was a kid, when Juju grows giant, he actually gets a new power. To where he can actually do this ninja-like transportation. And before I move on and before anybody yells at me in the comments, yes, they do the Kyaku Ranger henshin. I'm sorry I forgot to mention it. Anyway, now of course we get the Gokai Galleon going giant, we get the Gojujin going giant, and of course they're fighting, but they're losing. Of course, Ninja Man, not being a douche, decides to give them the ultimate power, and they Ranger Key, and nothing happens. And then it turns out Ninja Man is the ultimate power. Oh, God, that was obvious. Anyway, and he turns giant. And for the first time, I think, this is an ultimate power that does not combine with the Gokaiger in any way. Because it's Ninja Man literally standing right next to him, and he's their third mech. That's it. But he still kicks ass. And he does, of course, the substitution jutsu. And no, not the one from Naruto where he leaves a log. It's a straw doll this time. Come on now. And takes him out. Or distracts him and weakens him so that they can do the ultimate blast and takes him out. And of course, now that they all have the ultimate powers, who is left to fight but Bosco, the douche with the 5 powers, and that goddamn monkey. Anyway, of course, Bosco is actually now plotting to actually come against the Gokaiger right now. He's like, alright, I'm coming after him now. And of course, the Gokaiger are like, yeah, we gotta fight Bosco. But my thing is, we're forgetting about the Zangeist. They got backup coming. And I love this episode for that. You have the Zangeist coming in, you have Bosco coming in, and you have the Gokaiger ready for battle on both sides. Who's gonna win? Who's coming out on top? Who's gonna survive? Who's gonna die? I don't know. But until next time, y'all, peace. Oh, and this is a 10 out of 10. Forgot to say that. Oh well. Peace.